Hello, welcome to the Spark and Plug Talks. Spark and Plug podcast, Spark and Plug mouthing. We're working on the title. We have our next guest with us. This is episode 3. This should be out after our first episode, Mr. Eric Barnes. Our second episode, Gage, Waylon, and Andrew. And this is our third. We have released, this will be our third episode. This will be 3 weeks. So we should be up and running on all our socials. We should be good to go. What?
Dude, that's like a minute-long intro.
I'm sorry. We can do it again.
No.
I'm just spitting, bro.
Let's keep it going, dude.
You got this, bro.
All right, fuck it. I'm Dylan. That's Jared.
Hey.
This is Aaron.
That's Aaron. And we've got our guest, the beautiful, the delicious
Creamy.
Mason Hodge.
Creamy.
Give it up.
Hey.
Mazel tov.
Dude, thanks for coming out.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast so far. Just playing. That was really cool. I had a good time. I was a little nervous at first, but then got a little loose and
Really
had a good time.
eased into it.
Loosey-goosey, man.
Maybe a little too loose for
A little
next
too
time.
loose. I got too loose for Jared. He threw him off.
Well,
with
I'll
my
take loose
looseness.
all
Slid
day.
right off the stage, in fact.
He just.
I'll take sloppy all day. Sorry.
It's supposed to be a
Sloppy
music
and poor.
podcast.
Sloppy and poor. That's how I like them.
Well, man, so I guess we can somewhat talk about. This is so fucked. I guess we can talk about your music now.
You can talk about whatever you want, brother. Oh wait, music. Yeah. We can talk about music.
Okay, so how long have you known Mason, Aaron?
Only for the last year and a half, I think. I know Gage sent us his contact a while ago, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and then you got in contact with us again, like a year later or something like that.
Yeah.
So
But you went to ACM, yeah?
No.
No,
I
you
did
didn't go to
not.
ACM.
No.
I
Okay,
believe, did you and Gage go to high school together?
Yeah. So.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, we're
That's
both
where
from
I-
a real small town called Purcell. So
Home
he's a
of
couple
the-
years home of the Dragons. Go Drags. He's a couple years younger than me, but we used to go to church together and stuff. So I've known him for a while.
I got you.
Yeah,
That's very cool. Gage is a dude, man.
Gage is one of one, and I'm glad to know him.
I love that guy.
Yeah, me too.
And if you haven't seen his episode, definitely check it out.
I can't wait to listen to it myself.
We
We love you, Garge.
Love Garge.
Rusnov.
Every minute of every day, I love Garge.
Gamer.
Well, cool, man. So it's weird. Like me and Aaron went to ACM, and so it's just off the top of my head, I made all these random connections there, and they always seem to come back at the weirdest times. And for some reason, I was just like, well, they had to have met at ACM or whatever. But then you saying, "Oh, went to high school with Gage," it brings back a hidden connection that was unlocked in my brain.
So you guys all went to ACM together.
Well,
me and-
I
me and
did
Aaron
not.
did. J-Rod didn't. He skipped out
J-Money.
and went into the construction field.
Yeah, that was rough.
Blue
He
collar
had to
Laying
go
man.
make- he had to
concrete.
go make money.
Driving skid steers, popping gears.
Driving a gooseneck.
Let's
not finish that.
I got real fucking close, dude.
I know. I
What
can
is
see it. I
that?
can see it on the tip of your tongue visibly.
This is by far our worst episode of the podcast.
This is our worst intro of all
Mason Hodge
time.
effect.
on the best
3,
episode.
or we're 2 or 3 right now, so I guess that's okay. That's an okay percentage. All right, man. So
I'm not good with numbers. That's 80%, right?
yeah, this
You're
that's
one
very
number
close,
away
man.
from hitting 100%, basically.
Okay, cool.
Mason, what?
That makes sense.
So go ahead. You just played your live episode of the Spark and Plug.
Yes.
So go ahead and name off the titles of the songs, and we'll dive into each one of those and kind of how you
Okay.
came about them. If that's cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, for sure. The first one was called "You Don't." That's a pretty new one. I wrote that 3-ish weeks ago.
Oh wow.
So it's very new.
Very fresh, and it probably once I get it fully recorded and mixed and stuff, it might be a little different.
I thought it sounded killer, man.
Thank you. I really like. It kind of
tune.
came naturally. Just kind of popped out. I'm kind of a lazy songwriter. I don't just like grind. I don't do like the Nashville like folk singer grind, like write a song a day or anything. I have to just feel like really intuitive and just like confident,
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
not thinking about like anyone else, just
Get in the zone.
Yeah. It's just gotta flow, man.
For sure. So, okay, so you don't. That was the first one, and beforehand, I heard you, or maybe in between songs, I heard you playing a little Childers. So
yeah, dude, Tyler Childers is awesome.
So, but it's I don't like to stereotype,
Dude,
but it's
stereotype me away.
Well, your music sounds like less Childers, if
Garbage.
that makes sense. No. It sounds less Childers influence and more.
Nah, yeah.
I don't know. You've got your own flavor going on.
Man, you got some Ryan Adams stuff going on too.
I had a phase where I was.
Ryan, that's a great.
I had a
comparison.
phase where I was listening to him a lot.
I love Ryan Adams.
Well, and the thing too, like on record, those are gonna be like fleshed out with like
Oh, for sure.
instruments
Yeah,
and
definitely.
stuff. Like, so I listen, like right now, like in this moment, like sitting here, I listen to like a lot of like shoegaze, like indie stuff. But then I have my nights where I'll put on like George Jones or like '90s country.
Wow, that's
like,
a.
I don't know. I kind of
melting
want
pot
to. Yeah, I kind of want to make a mix of like indie and a little country. I don't know.
Well, that's kind of like Ryan Adams, man. He grew up. He came up in the alt country scene, and then you can kind of say that some of his stuff is maybe a little bit indie, but
Yeah, he's got
He's got
like
that flavor, that like
his early
seasoning of
stuff.
shoegaze
His
kinda in
early
there.
stuff
Yeah.
is like really like alt country, folky,
yeah, it is
and then
really-
like
well, with Whiskey Town,
Whiskey Town, the Cardinals. I really like my favorite album of his is like Prisoner, because
Mhm.
it's got like that. It's a lot. Some of the songs have like that '80s guitar vibe, or
does.
like I don't want to say Springsteen, but like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. That's just it takes me back to like '80s.
It's got like a nostalgia feel to
nostalgia.
it.
Yeah,
Well,
like
that
I've heard
one-
it before.
What's the song with? It starts out with the organ in the intro.
The very first song,
Yeah,
or
I can't for some reason. I can't.
Prisoner, Free Mind. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
No.
It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Jamie, look that
Do
up.
You Still Love Me?
Do you still love me?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
It's
You're
kind of like
welcome.
an '80s rock.
That
like-
song fucking rips, dude.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
song.
Such a good song.
Yeah, I got into Ryan Adams like when I was living. I lived out of state for a little bit, and my buddy Cal, he's like a really famous photographer, and he's got a pretty damn good following, and he put me onto a lot of stuff that I didn't listen to, like shoegaze, for example. Like, shoegaze and Ryan Adams are two different things, but those
Well,
are
I
two
gotta-
things
so-
that he got me into. So shout out to Cal.
I am totally I like Ryan Adams. I'm finding myself very unable to get into shoegaze. Is there like any artists
Like
that you're
Slow
like
Dive?
start with?
Slow Dive's like one of those like pinnacle,
Yeah.
like them and like My Bloody Valentine,
Yeah.
Jesus of Mary Chain, Koto Twins.
Yeah, Coco.
How do you say it? How do you say it? Is it Koto?
I think it's
Coco.
Cocteau?
Cocteau?
Yeah,
I don't know.
can't remember. I don't know.
It's pronounced cacao.
I actually think you're the one of the first people I've ever heard say their name out loud.
I don't think I've ever said it out loud until now.
But like Slow
It's a
Dive, Slow Dive
revelation.
is like, if you look up like shoegaze essentials on Apple,
Um,
like it's gonna be Slow Dive's gonna be.
I
on
will
there.
say a band that has really influenced me the last few months is a band called Dive. Like they're really good. They have their newer albums kind of like heavier shoegaze, but their earlier stuff is kind of like indie, beachy.
Oh,
Kinda
okay,
like-
cool.
The singer used to play in like Beach Fossils, like as the drummer.
Mhm.
But really good band. Anyways, yeah.
Very dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't very first song,
Yeah.
and that's a very new song,
Yes.
which I thought, I mean, dude, being 3 weeks old, that's a pretty killer song.
I
That's a pretty killer tune.
Yeah, it's about 3 weeks. Yeah. Might add a little more lyrics in a certain. I don't know. We'll see when it comes
See
comes
where it
time to
takes
cut
you.
it. I'll just cut it, and then if it ends that way, I try. I'm an overthinker at heart. Like I'm really like critical of myself and everything. So like I try to do that before Like I come here and record, or like anywhere, and
Mhm.
just lay it down, and I don't know.
So
Let it be it, and then move on.
yeah, for sure, man. That's a great. Well, I'm not going to say every writing process that results in it is great into itself most of the time. You know,
Yeah.
take maybe not the Rolling Stones sending Keith Richards down to the basement just to do coke and come up with
Yeah.
riffs. Maybe that's not the healthiest.
That's
Yeah.
where I've gone
Who
wrong.
knows? Hey, I don't know.
I don't think the Rolling Stones had a choice. I think that was just what Keith Richards was going to do, and they're just like,
Might as well embrace it.
yeah,
Yeah.
fuck it.
That's just like what his blood is made of now.
Because he had that he had that entire blood transfusion.
Yeah,
and-
now when China nukes the U.S., it's going to be cockroaches and Keith Richards.
Great band, great songs, yo. A little too groovy.
Well, cool, man. What? So, okay, on to your second song, which is
Please Be Up.
"Please Be." Okay, and you recorded this one, or Aaron mixed this one for you. out
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So I record. I make a lot of demos and stuff myself at home, and I've really fallen in love with recording myself the last few years. And I tried to just get some good stems to send out to Aaron for those as best as I could. That's like I usually like lyrically. I don't get usually like not too deep or anything. But that one I was kind of going through like some stuff was like a good girl, you know,
Yeah,
like
for
kind of
sure.
cliche, but that was just
No,
how I
think
was
if it
feeling,
inspires,
you know.
then, like, you know.
It was how I was feeling, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna just write a song about this moment, and that's how that one came. That one came about pretty quick too. I think like I probably wrote all of that in like a week or two, I would say, and then just sat on it and listened to it a million times, and then overanalyzed it, and then sent it to Aaron.
Very cool, man. The so is that typically how you said that's how you for the past couple years? That's kind of how you like to record, is kind of by yourself.
Yeah, I do. I do it mostly by myself. You know, like I'll program the drums and lay down, you know, root note bass and guitar.
So it's very DIY-ish.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah. I say one of my favorite artists is Alex G. He's a really amazing artist, and I think up until his last album, like he just kind of did when I sent to Aaron. He just records a bunch of crap like with like a mic at his house, and then he sends it to a professional mixer.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, everybody has their own processes, but I found that a lot of songwriters that I really respect, they kind of like, I'll just use like Bruce Springsteen, for instance, like when he kind of was like, fuck it, and just started and then just recorded Nebraska on like
That acoustic album,
yeah, man. I mean that was so like he was like, it's like a
Here you go. You
I'll
listen
do it
to
myself, you know. And it was
Atlantic
like,
City by the band. You're like, oh man, Bruce Springsteen. This is his original. You're like, I gotta look this up, and you look it up, and you're like, whoa,
dude,
this
it's
is not what I
crazy.
thought it was gonna be.
Dude, it's great. His guitar player was in The Sopranos.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a great
Silvio.
Little Steven. Yeah, he's
yeah.
awesome.
I think Springsteen. I think he recorded like in a hotel room or something, or was it? I think it was at his house or something with a
Yeah,
little
and then
4-track.
Yeah, he like went back and just overdubbed like I think harmonica or maybe.
Well,
and,
they
like, some-
his
a
label
couple
was like,
backing
"This is
tracks.
great. Let's record it for real." And they tried doing it for real, and they're like, "This like him and his producer are like this ain't happening."
Yeah.
And they're like, they had to like fight like hell to get his original 4-track recordings to be the actual album that the label's
Yeah.
going to accept.
Well, either way, the whole story is awesome. But to get back to what you were saying, Mason, is I think there's like a ton of really cool artists who really find some amazing part of themselves, songs, art by kind of disconnecting. in a
Yeah,
way.
and I'm kind of self-conscious about it. Like I'm super, like I don't even like talk to my family about it. Like it's kind of like I cringe kind of sometimes when I talk
Right.
about it or like share my music with them and stuff.
Because it's like exposing a side of
Yeah,
yourself that maybe you
so
wouldn't normally.
when usually when I record or write, like it's like a brief moment where like that part of me is like gone. So like when I'm feeling that, I'm like, oh crap, I have to capture this now because
Right.
it might not come back for like another month or
For sure.
however long.
And you you generally you said you don't really like dig into your lyrics, I guess, like maybe your foundation, but then
a lot of them in the past.
everything?
Yeah, so I try to just, if it sounds good, and I think I kind of like the idea of like being vague, because then like the listener can just
Leaves it open to
subconsciously creates a
interpretation.
story or
Yeah.
image in their head with what they see it, and but yeah.
Would you ever? I always like to ask people, like, would you ever think you could put out like a really authentic,
Like
Mason Hodge stuff,
personal?
like, yeah, like getting together with like 4 or 5 other people and writing a whole couple songs or album
Writing
or
with
whatever?
like other people?
I mean, like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
That's fine.
going back to Gage, like Gage is like the one person I write a lot of music with him. Like we have a shoegaze project called Dove's Nest. We got a bunch of demos for. Hopefully we can get that out soon. That'll be a really fun
Wow,
project to play in.
What a sick Easter egg.
No music out there except private demos on SoundCloud that I've only shared with Gage and maybe Aaron.
Incredible.
Yeah. But that's about it. I tried to be in a couple bands. Like there was a band I joined for like 3 weeks, and then they like just kind of kicked me out of nowhere. So I was like, oh, screw this. Like from now on, I'm just gonna do shit by myself. Like, cause I'm the boss. If I
Yeah,
want to
for
add
sure.
something, no one's gonna argue with me about it. Like
It's hard to. I mean, I think there's a reason why, and me and Aaron and Jared have talked this about to death. Like, there's a reason why there's so few bands that stick together for so long, where it's not
Yeah.
just like a one man army.
Everyone's
deal.
got their own vision of like how it should sound, I guess. So like sometimes it can clash.
yeah,
But,
for sure.
props to the bands that can do it though. Like that's a testament to them. Like it's cool.
Definitely. And then and then your third song.
The Sooners. That okay. I say like that's kind of a personal song. It's
It
about
felt pretty intimate.
yeah. That's actually a very a very intimate song. It's about wanting love and approval from someone. Us being in Oklahoma, we're so ingrained in like OU football and loving that. Like I'm a diehard OU fan, so like. I mean, then there's a lot of people that their weekends are amazing or ruined just off of game. So, like, there's a lot of love in that, a lot of pain and joy. So it's like, if someone can love me as much as they love the Sooners, like, that's what the song's called, Sooners. I don't know if I said it, but yeah, it's like, love me like the Sooners. So,
okay, so I was hearing that and I was like, is he talking about OU? I
Yeah.
was like, I can't, I didn't,
but
I didn't want
guess,
to jump
yeah.
to conclusions or
But
anything.
I guess the cool thing about that is if you're not from around here and you hear that, you're like, what the hell does he mean? So then you can kind of make something up yourself.
There's
and
another Easter egg.
It doesn't
right
matter,
there.
like
You
you
have
can
to
make
come
your
and
own
listen so
story.
you know
like,
the
who
meaning.
cares? It's like,
Well, cool, man. I've been talking a lot. I'll turn it over to one of these guys if they've got anything to add, anything like that.
Well, I was kind of caught off guard. I wasn't ready. I didn't have my question thought of yet.
you have an amazing mustache, by the way.
Thank you.
It's-
I've been working on it for a
Tickles
minute.
the mic for sure.
It does. That's about the only thing it tickles. Yeah, that and maybe Aaron from time to time.
Hey now,
Whoa.
you're a rock star.
Different podcast. Sorry. I get. So I'm gonna step away from the music a little bit.
Yeah.
So your personal life growing up, did that have anything to do with affecting how you write or like who you are?
Yeah,
as a writer?
absolutely. That's like, I think my first like memory ever of like being moved by music. I was like, I can't remember how young. I was probably less than 6 or like 5, 4. I don't.
Whenever
Really,
you
really,
gain
really young.
consciousness.
Really young, yeah.
I remember my Mimi and Papa. They were playing "Born to Be Wild,"
Hell yeah.
and that song just amped me up like so much. I was running around, jumping off the couches. Like it got me super hyped up, and then like riding around in my dad's truck, listening to Metallica and Guns N' Roses, all that
Yeah.
80s night, stuff like
I
that.
was like super heavily influenced in the exact same way from grunge stuff.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam and Nirvana.
And then on the other spectrum, like driving around with my mom and like living with my mom, like listening to George Strait
Yeah, all the classic
Shania
countries
Twain,
and stuff,
Dixie
yeah.
Chicks, the Chicks.
Yeah, I was
Excuse
going to
me.
say, aren't
Sorry.
they just the chicks
the
now?
Chicks now? I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Yeah,
Just
gotta
got
blur that
canceled, bro.
one out.
It's Lady A and the Chicks, please.
Okay, nobody made Lady A change their fucking name, dude. They did it. Nobody was like, Antebellum's racist. Nobody said that.
Hey, man, they're just ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Honestly, when they came out with it, I was like, who the fuck is Lady? Oh, Lady, I've heard them in a while. I think it was a publicity stunt because I think when people were like me, were
I
like,
mean, that's. But you can't fault them for it because it did give them a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
If that was the plan,
allegedly.
Is that what the
they
A stands
allegedly
for?
got
now?
a lady allegedly. What were we talking about?
We
Jerry
were
was
talking
asking-
about him growing up and like what.
Oh, damn! And that was a good.
Yeah.
I think you
Ignore
left
them,
off
Mason.
like
Ignore them.
riding around with your dad, listening
Yeah,
to Metallica
so,
and your
but then,
mom,
like-
George
Brought up
Strait,
Lady
the
A.
Dixie Chick. Hold on, fellas, let this man talk. It's his podcast
Make me look like a
episode.
schmuck over here, man.
Yeah, no. I mean, George Strait, like, he's like one of my idols. Like the way that some people like look at like Elvis or like the Beatles or something. Like he's like a god.
I
amongst
really want to
men,
hear your
man.
shoegaze country project. Like that's-
Shoegaze country,
That's got to be incredible.
Country
Yeah,
gaze.
you could call it bootlace.
bootlace. Okay,
Amazing.
I like that. Going to hear first by Jared. I like it. Yeah. That's
Trademark
cool.
2023.
Yeah, you're gonna owe him a
Mhm.
bunch of money.
Yeah, I play
I'm
some
just playing.
bootlace.
I thought you were gonna say boot gaze. I was like, that's a lot
I play
better.
some bootgaze.
Shit kicker gaze, you know.
Singing about a
Square
truck
toe
with
gaze.
like echo and a wall sound.
Steel
I
toe
like it,
gaze.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
The first album could be called Red Wing.
Croc gaze.
Croc
Been
gaze.
playing your Crocs.
Wolverine.
Air
Oh,
Force
my
One
God.
gaze.
Well, yeah, that's such a like crazy collection of.
Yeah, I was
music.
gonna
I've
say,
said
so
it
you
before,
have-
but
But
it's such a crazy.
Then going in after that, I kind of had my like hip hop phase and like I don't know, like third or fourth grade. I got into like basketball and like just listening to like one of my favorite like rap songs of all time is Air Force Ones by Nelly. I freaking love that song.
Listen to the
It's so
N1
good, dude.
mixtapes.
It's so dude. Yeah, I'd watch a lot of N1 mixtapes. I don't know. And then after that, after like
2K helped formulate my rap.
after
taste.
after listening to like that, and then like around that time, I think like the Houston like Chopped and Screwed like Dirty South music, like that was really cool. Mike Jones, Chingo Bling, Paul Wall, Chameleonaire. Then after that, started watching Fuse TV, and then there was this band playing.
This is so awesome. Dude.
There was this band playing, and like it's like the video, and it comes in, it shows the band on the stage, and they're like, they all have like long hair, and they're headbanging like way harder than like 80s hair metal stuff. Like they're going crazy, and there's like literally one dude screaming into the mic, and it was Under Oath. So I had
Oh,
a
yeah.
huge Under Oath phase,
Wow.
like thrice.
I was going to ask that question
Man,
if you ever went
went
through that
some
phase.
valleys and hill. Man, you
Yeah,
were
absolutely. Like
up and
it,
down,
it was
up and
all
down.
really moving. It just made me feel a certain way. I'd fall asleep to Under Oath and Thrice and the Used from first to last. Like, but I didn't start writing music. I played guitar since I was like 12. I took lessons for like a year and a half or two, and then I just didn't want to like learn like just basic like cowboy chord songs and stuff anymore. So I kind of went into my own thing. I never got into like playing like emo music though, even though I loved it so much. Like I just felt like I couldn't do it. But anyways, like I think I was like my first open mic or anything I ever like played in for. I was like 21 or 22.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and I wasn't ever just like, oh, I'm gonna be a musician. I just loved it, and then like I just remember kind of playing one day, and one of my friends, I was like playing a Mac DeMarco cover or something, and my friend's like, hey man, you got a kind of interesting voice, and I was like, oh really? Like I have a voice? Like that's cool, and that's kind of when I was like, okay, well I'm gonna start writing down these little chord progressions I play when I'm just like staring at the wall for like
just
45
doodling.
minutes. Because I got to the point where I was like, I'm so sick of like learning people's songs. I'm just gonna have fun and play. And I was like, oh wait, I've been writing music this whole time, maybe. I don't know. Like, so I started adding lyrics to it and just going from there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to go finish saying anything or anything like that.
I don't know. I probably was, and I forgot.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off your ride
No,
there.
that's
My
fine.
bad.
Ronnie, you got anything to add into this?
In the specific conversation, no, but I might start my own.
Okay,
Go for
well,
it.
that's the point
I
of this.
know.
Shoot from the hip.
I'm calling you Quick Draw McGraw, brother.
I'm just shitting you.
Please don't.
Okay. So what's the future of Mason? Are you like recording all these singles to eventually lead up to an album, or what do you
Yeah.
think?
I was thinking an album, like 10 songs, but then like half of them are just like polished turd demos, you know. I'm just like, and I've had for like 2 years, and I'm just like, dude, I'm not in this moment now. Like, I gotta just let these be demos and keep them on like SoundCloud or something, and like have just a handful of ones that I really invest into, and like come out here to Bicentennial and record. So I think I'm gonna put out an EP.
That's what I was-
Hopefully hopefully this year. But
I was thinking
a double singles.
EPs are money, man. Everybody loves just
Yeah,
4 or 5 songs that they can just chew on. And then
especially in this day and age, you know, like people's attention spans are like so short. You know, like a lot of people now just make like 2.5 minute, 3 minute songs, like just real quick.
Yeah, and it's like I don't remember what the
Which is
exact
not a bad
number
thing.
was.
Like
It was
it's just the evolution of it. But
right. Well, it all comes back around in
full
a
circle. Yeah, they
soon
used to do
enough.
that for like the Motown stuff, I
Yeah,
guess, too. You know,
it feels like
all the older songs. You were only 2.
yeah,
minutes
it
tops.
feels like I can't remember where I read it. It was like you have to listen to a song 3 to 5 times before you even decide if you like it.
yeah.
But then, like most people, never even. It's like if that song doesn't immediately catch your attention, a lot of
Yeah.
people won't even give it the time. They won't ever
Yeah.
even listen to the whole song, much less 2 or 3 or 4 times or whatever.
And that's what kind of like, to be honest, that's what kind of sucks about like putting out your music. Like you spend this money and time, and it's like kind of emotionally draining. You finally get it out, and you're like, "Here, world, listen to the hard work I've put in." And if you don't put as much effort into like branding and marketing
Oh,
and
it
like
definitely
social
sucks,
media and
man.
stuff, like no one's gonna listen to it, even if it's. I mean, it might grow like organically, but there's a highly less chance that like it's gonna spread.
right.
Like I don't know.
I think like the flip side of the coin is that also weeds out people who aren't as committed to it, but it
Yeah.
also is like really deflating because
It
people
sucks,
can
yeah.
do it for literally 15 years and
Yeah.
they don't even have like enough to make a living off of it,
Yeah.
to even
As long as I can make something I'm proud of and I can listen back to and not
Not
cringe.
cringe.
Yeah. Yeah. And be like, hey, I made that. Like
been
that.
there.
That's pretty cool that I made this, and I
Mm-hmm.
can drive around and be like, I'm proud of this. Like I put a lot of,
I think
like
that's
that's like the big thing for me, as long as I'm
that's a
happy
great
with it.
goal to hit,
Yeah. As long as I'm content, whatever happens after that is just, extra.
How long have you been actually? Well, I guess when did the switch flip where it was like, I'm gonna record these songs and put them out?
Let's see.
Was that kind of
I-
always what you had in mind, or
Well, so like like I said, I started playing open mics and stuff when I was like 21, 22. And I think for like 2 or 3 years after that, I was just writing in notepads and just like remembering my songs. And I was like, oh, eventually I'm going to learn how to use programs. And,
right?
eventually, like when I was like 25, 26, I'm 29. So like 25 ish, I was like starting to record stuff into GarageBand, and then outgrew that and got into Logic, and I was like, okay, now I know how to record songs. Like, so if I go into a studio, I'm not gonna be like completely overwhelmed. Or Oh, another thing too is I would just be the guy with acoustic guitar at open mics. Like and I'm not hating on that at all. Like if that's the way you want to express yourself and make that music, and I love that kind of music. But I wanted to be something different. I want to have like other instrumentations and stuff. For the most part, so you have to do that through recording and like making weird sounds and creating atmosphere and just weird stuff. Like
Yeah.
I've tried. I think I've gotten better at that the last 2 or 3 years. Just adding like weird little things. I still mainly write all my songs like on an acoustic guitar, just like guitar DI.
I was
and
going to ask, is that
interface.
where you start? Is that generally like kind of where you start? Your instrument of choice?
Not
is
as
kind of starting there?
sometimes, yeah, not as much anymore. Now it's just me like messing around in Logic, like DI, just trying to come up with some stuff. But there's also times where I just don't want to record and I'm just like playing guitar, and then something comes along and I'm like, oh, okay, this is sick. I don't really want to record this in Logic right now, so I'm gonna grab my phone, make a voice memo of it, write in my notes app about it, and then listen to it, and then come back to it later after it kind of resonating with me, and then try to record an idea in Logic. Or sometimes I just go straight into Logic and make weird stuff. I've been getting into making like house music and stuff now too. I really like that.
Man, you're just like a jack of all trades kind of dude. Like
Master of none.
yeah. Well, you just like the different influential kind of phases you've gone through and everything.
Yeah,
It's a crazy melting pot, which we've said a billion times, but it's a crazy melting pot of influences and all kinds of stuff, man. It's just
different, different
so
genres for
interesting.
different vibes. So yeah, I get bored, listening to burnouts. Like all my favorite bands, like I hate to say it, I just like get burnt out on them, and I don't listen to them as much. So I find something new.
And I always like, I have a few like mainstay bands that I listen to a lot, but it's just like you said, I'll get tired of listening to those songs, but then
like
I always
them today.
and then it seems like I always come back to them. Like give it 6 months, give it a year, and then I just go through another phase where that's all I listen. It's like those artists, the only thing I listen to.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I guess I just do that with genres. I guess I like telling my story earlier of what I listened to when I was younger. I just go through phases.
It's really that's
go through phases. Who knows what
really
I'm going to
cool.
make in 2 years? I might make a metal album.
that amazing metal.
I gotta have Gage.
shoegaze.
I gotta have Gage teach me how to scream.
That would be incredible. So do you see yourself performing like with a full band? And
I've done it one time at Norman Music Festival last year.
How would you describe that experience?
Oh, it was so much fun. It was amazing.
Oh, so you had a good experience.
I had
with
a
it.
blast. So I had Gage played lead guitar for me. My buddy Luke, who's in a band, Oklahoma band called Pabu, that's getting some friction around here, getting some
Yeah, a lot of people
respect.
know.
They've
No
yeah,
Pabu.
shout out to Pabu. They're a really cool band, really nice guys.
Confirmed. Mason's bringing them on the Spark and Plug.
I wonder. Yeah, they'd probably like to do this. Yeah, they're cool dudes. Luke's such an amazing bass player. Gage is an amazing bass guitar player, and then my buddy Evan, who I met through Luke, he plays in a band called the Phils. I didn't meet him till we rehearsed. Like he just came over and we practiced two or three times for like 2 hours each, and then we just would play to my songs like on SoundCloud, and then we went to a Norman Music Festival and it was sick. How do you say his name? Hosty. He played right before me, so there was a lot of people in there, and a lot of them, a good majority of them stuck around. So I was like,
okay,
oh
cool. So you
shit,
had a
like,
pretty
this
good
is I mean. So, but I get up there, and my Mimi got me this like Vox amp when I was like 12 years old, and I've been using it's such a sick amp. I need to get fixed. I've used it so much up until Norman Music Festival, and I get up there, my amp dies. Like there's like a short in the circuits. It's not like the wiring,
The
and I'm like
ultimate
freaking
feeling of
out. And the
despair.
sound guy's just like, "Well, hey, we can just run you DI." And I'm like, "Oh crap, dude!" Like I'm so about to have a panic attack. I'm like, "This is the first time I'm playing in front of people, and I'm gonna have like a breakdown." I'm so nervous. I'm like, with a band, like it was a big deal to me. And then Hosty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hosty. such a nice guy, came up to me. He's like, "You need an amp, man?" I'm like, "Yes,
That's
please."
very
He's like,
hosty.
"I got one for you." He let me use like a Fender
Oh man,
Bl-
what an
Blues
absolute
Deluxe. I don't know what it was
freaking
called,
legend.
and it sounded it sounded so much better than like mine probably would have. So, shout out to him. He really saved my night, and seeing people kind of dance around and enjoy it like with the band, like that's something, I would fall asleep. I'd listen to like these records and imagine that I was the front man or guitar player instead of the actual person, and I was like playing, and I'm like,
Man, that isn't.
like this is sick. I got to do
Cool,
this
dude.
now, so I want to do it again. Like, but being a solo artist, I'm not in a band, so I don't have like concrete people. And just getting my friends who are like their own musicians who, as they should, they prioritize their own things. Like getting all them together is like herding a pack of kittens. So like it's kind of tough. But I prefer, honestly, now I'm getting more introverted the older I get. I really like to just record and stuff now.
For sure, man. I
should-
mean, one of the smartest dudes I've ever met is well, he was a. I don't. Does Hendrix still teach up at ACM? I don't know if he does.
I don't know either.
Well, anyways, he's the guy. He's like the head dude at Color Music at that.
Oh,
I don't
is
know
that
if you
his like project's name? Color Music?
It's Color Music, but Ryan Hendrix is the guy. Him and Nick Lay are the kind of forces behind that.
Okay,
but
cool.
anyways, they were both instructors at ACM, and Hendrix is one of the most inward-looking. Like, he looks so deeply at the psychological impact of you writing music and the effect it has on what you outwardly produce through that music and everything. That I had a semester where I had like a kind of a one-on-one mentorship thing with him, and oh yeah, dude, it was like you made me realize how little I actually consider and think about when I write, when I play, when I sing, and listening. And he's like, and that's kind of in my point at saying all this was that he is kind of similar to you in the sense that like he likes
yeah, I'll
recording
take
his
that.
own stuff and kind of doing his own thing, going to his own little studio he has set up, and it allows him to, I think, get way more in touch with what he truly wants to put out in those kind of terms. And then he's like, he's been best friends with Nick, so he's like, Nick, come in and put down these drums, do this thing, and then that's what Nick does. But man, I will say, like, I like a lot of what Color Music does, but I would never make a project like that. Like, I would never make music like that. That's just not who I am.
Yeah.
But to know him and to know how he writes is incredibly inspiring. So I think
That's cool.
I think you've got like an awesome path set out. You know what I mean? Like
Nice,
just sticking to it and kind of diving deep into what
into
you
the subconscious.
all that shit, man. It's like sometimes you just come up with just amazing stuff, and I think a lot of people are kind of like, I need someone else to bounce ideas off of, and I need someone else to help. But I think sometimes the harder but more rewarding path is to like just kind of tear yourself apart, and kind of figure out who you are in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like it. Like, I feel like it's funny. Like, I feel really like confident and like my wings are spread when I listen to my stuff. Like when it's like fully done, and it's like, but then like I'll like post it or something, and I'm like, oh god.
You start finding like every little nitpicky thing to pick. Like you just start picking it
I'm like,
apart.
why-
When in reality, it's not bad.
Yeah, I'm like, why did I do this thing too long? Or like, why did I do this here? And then, and then you just like overthink it too much.
I know. Me and with our projects, me and Aaron and Jared, it's like I don't think there ever comes a point where you're satisfied with what you've done. It's like you just get to the point where you're like,
I don't want to work. I don't want to work on this anymore. This is it. I'm like, this is.
I think we've definitely gone through that. Oh my god, it feels like every song we
I'm
write,
trying to
we
just
hit
get
that
better.
point
I'm trying to get
eventually.
better at that. Just be like, hey, this is where it's at. Put it out. It's you. And if someone doesn't like it, like that's their opinion. That doesn't. You know, everyone has their own opinion on things, and they have the right to have that. So, yeah.
Unless it's wrong.
Unless they don't like it, then
Yeah.
screw them.
Yeah.
They don't know crap about music.
Yeah, that's
Perfect. All
I
right,
roll.
man. Well, cool. That's all I've got. I think
I can't think of anything at the moment, which is not surprising.
maybe we'll
but
leave a 3-minute pause at the end, and Jared will just come back.
Silence.
Yeah. And one more thing.
Let's put a law on Jarek and just let him leave, and we'll capture everything he says to himself.
Oh God, you don't want that. We'd have to get this NSFW rated.
Well, cool, man. Mason, I appreciate you so much for coming out.
Absolutely.
Let's give it a.
Thank you guys. I'm grateful to be here. Grateful. This is a cool thing you guys got going on. And I wish you all the best with it. I hope it blossoms even more into something amazing. It's already amazing, but
Well, thanks so
you
much,
guys,
man. I really
this is
appreciate
really
it.
sweet.
It's fuel to carry on, and
Exactly.
you know,
This helps us keep taking steps. So it's
Beautiful.
kind of a good thing for both of us.
Beautiful. Love
appreciate it, man. Well, and I hope people really get a lot of where you're coming from, listening to this, watching the Spark and Plug episode when it drops. And have you got any socials or anything you want to plug or anything like that?
You can follow me on Instagram at Mason Hodge. I don't have anything on I cleared everything just for like this double single I'm about to put out with that I recorded here. Then maybe I'll start like posting more, but like I try to just only post about music on Instagram. So you can follow me there or
Yeah, get some boot gaze going on. You need
Some
you
boots.
need a boot gaze playlist, man.
Boot Gaze. Yeah, I gotta work on that.
And we're very cool, man. I think
Just Mason Hodge on all the streaming surfaces too. Like it's just
Perfect.
my name. So
awesome.
I got 3 songs out now, and hopefully into March, 1st of April, I'll have You Don't and The Sooners out as a double single. So
Awesome. I'm
yeah.
looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to
Thank
listening
you.
to those. Well, cool. I think what we're gonna start. We're gonna add like an additional layer to all this, and we're gonna grab some of those boot gaze songs from Mason
Yeah.
that he found.
I'll get to working on them.
Really loving. And I think we're gonna try and upload, as long as the artist is cool with it. I think we're gonna start trying and uploading the 3, however many songs they end up doing. We're gonna upload them to all the streaming platforms so people can check them out. Obviously, they'll be underneath, in Mason's case, Mason's name. But we're going to try and do that going forward. We're going to try and get a Spotify playlist made up of some of the songs me and Jared and Aaron are listening to, along with some of the songs Mason's listening to that we'll kind of update weekly. And you can find us everywhere to Spark and Plug. That's on all our socials. We're on YouTube. That's kind of one of the primary places because it's easiest, I think, anyways, to view the long format videos there. And we've also got a Discord. So if you want to chat with us directly, maybe one of these days we'll have like an artist pop in there and like do like we'll kind of post it up, kind of socialize it, and do like a Q&A or something in there. That might be cool. But anyways, we've got those 2. We've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all that stuff. So you goobers go out there and just look for the Spark and Plug, and then you'll find us. That's all I've got. You guys got anything?
No, sir.
All right.
Mason,
9.
once again for coming out today and doing this with us.
Thank you.
Yep. Mason Hodge. Look him up, guys. Thank you. Spark and Plug out.
Spark and Plug out.
And one more thing.
One more time.
Spark and Plug out. Twice.
Good shit, boys. That was fun.